we're going to take a hard-hitting look at the 20 toughest actors in Hollywood history. These are the legends who didn't just play tough guys, they were tough guys both on and off the screen. From war heroes to stunt daredevils, from brawlers to lone wolves, these men defined what it meant to be strong, fearless, and absolutely unforgettable. So if you're into real grit, raw masculinity, and action stars who didn't need CGI to look dangerous, let's dive in. Charles Bronson. 1. Charles Bronson. Charles Bronson grew up in extreme poverty, working in coal mines as a teenager. He served as a tail gunner in World War II before becoming one of Hollywood's most iconic action stars. With a rugged face and silent intensity, Bronson dominated films like Death Wish, The Magnificent Seven, and The Dirty Dozen. He often did his own stunts and maintained a private, intimidating persona off-screen. Steve McQueen. 2. Steve McQueen. The King of Cool was also the King of Guts. A U.S. Marine turned action star, McQueen was a real-life race car and motorcycle enthusiast. He performed many of his own stunts and refused to back down from a challenge. Films like Bullet, The Great Escape, and The Getaway showcased his daredevil edge. Lee Marvin. 3. Lee Marvin. Before acting, Marvin was a U.S. Marine wounded in World War II. He brought that real-world experience to gritty roles in Point Blank, The Big Red One, and The Dirty Dozen. Known for his heavy drinking and fighting spirit, Marvin lived his roles in real life. Clint Eastwood. 4. Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood is a true Hollywood titan. A Korean War veteran, he survived a plane crash and swam miles through shark-infested waters. From Dirty Harry to Unforgiven, his steely-eyed stare and no-nonsense demeanor made him a legend. He continues working into his 90s. John Wayne. 5. John Wayne. The Duke defined the American cowboy and war hero archetype. Though he didn't serve in the military, his imposing 6 feet 4 inches frame and commanding presence made him a screen icon. Films like True Grit, The Searchers, and The Alamo made him a permanent symbol of toughness. Robert Mitchum. 6. Robert Mitchum. Mitchum was once jailed for marijuana use and lived a hard early life. He brought a cool menace to roles in Cape Fear and The Night of the Hunter. Off-screen, he was a heavy drinker and brawler who didn't play by the rules. James Coburn. 7. James Coburn. Coburn's sharp features and martial arts skills, he trained with Bruce Lee, gave him a unique toughness. He brought sleek coolness and danger to roles in The Magnificent Seven, Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, and Hard Times. Charles Chuck Norris. 8. Charles Chuck Norris. A martial arts champion and Air Force veteran, Chuck Norris became an unstoppable force in movies like Walker, Texas Ranger, Delta Force, and Lone Wolf McQuade. He trained with Bruce Lee and brought stoic intensity to every role. Sylvester Stallone. 9. Sylvester Stallone. Stallone was Rocky Balboa and John Rambo, roles he created and embodied. He wrote the original Rocky script, insisting on starring despite rejection. His training, real injuries, and sheer willpower turned him into a generational icon of toughness. Arnold Schwarzenegger. 10. Arnold Schwarzenegger. The Austrian oak conquered bodybuilding before taking Hollywood by storm. His roles in The Terminator, Predator, and Commando cemented him as a physically dominant force. His real-life achievements, governor, business mogul, athlete, prove his mental toughness matched his muscle. Burt Lancaster. 11. Burt Lancaster. A former circus acrobat and army sergeant, Lancaster was both athletic and fearless. In From Here to Eternity, The Train, and Elmer Gantry, he brought high drama and physical prowess. His commanding presence made him one of Hollywood's toughest gentlemen. Humphrey Bogart. 12. Humphrey Bogart. He wasn't brawny, but Bogart's toughness came from a gritty, street-smart attitude. A former Navy man, Bogart brought a cynical strength to roles in Casablanca, The Maltese Falcon, and The Big Sleep. His sharp tongue and cool resolve were legendary. James Cagney. 13. James Cagney. Cagney brought dangerous energy to gangster films like Public Enemy and White Heat. A trained boxer and dancer, he balanced brute force with agility. His volcanic performances set the standard for tough guy acting. Gene Hackman. 14. Gene Hackman. Hackman served in the Marines and brought depth and authority to roles in The French Connection, Unforgiven, and Hoosiers. He wasn't flashy, but his strength came from his intensity, credibility, and quiet menace. Tom Hardy. 15. Tom Hardy. A modern tough guy, Hardy overcame drug addiction and rebuilt himself through intense physical training. Known for Bronson, Mad Max, Fury Road, The Dark Knight Rises, and Warrior, Hardy does his own stunts and throws himself into brutal roles. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. 16. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. A former football player and wrestling superstar, The Rock brought his physicality to blockbusters like Fast and Furious, San Andreas, and Jumanji. Off-screen, he's known for a grueling workout routine and disciplined lifestyle. Jason Statham. 17. Jason Statham. A competitive diver turned actor, Statham does nearly all his own stunts. His roles in The Transporter, Crank, and The Expendables made him the new face of real-world action. He trains in martial arts and maintains a fighter's physique. Mel Gibson. 18. Mel Gibson. Known for both his performances and intense directing style, Gibson brought primal toughness to Mad Max, Lethal Weapon, and Braveheart. A controversial figure, his physical commitment and raw energy are undeniable. Wesley Snipes. 19. Wesley Snipes. A black belt in multiple martial arts, Snipes brought real combat skill to roles in Blade, Passenger 57, and Demolition Man. He trained seriously and delivered high-octane, fast-paced action with authentic grit.